Global Water Partnership Eastern Africa, in a collaboration with the CapNet's, we have organized a workshop, a regional workshop, on IWRM. It means how integrated water resource management approach can be used as a tool for climate change adaptation. This workshop was attended by different stakeholders from all 9 Nile Basin countries, especially from the professionals from the institution responsible for water resources, but also had some others from the private sector, others from civil society. And the intention of the workshop was to train the critical mass of water professionals who are working with the government and non-government institutions so that they can understand and be familiar with issues of climate change and sustainable water resource management. It has been the workshop has been demanded for a long time that young water professionals especially need to be trained and need to be capacitated in terms of climate change and water resource management. And for us, it was a privilege to organize this workshop because we consider the young water professionals are future leaders of the water sector so that they can understand and be able to play the role as the future leaders to address issues related to water resource management and climate change. So this workshop was very fruitful. It has been for 4 days, and yesterday we went to the field to see what is happening in Kenya. We have been visiting the dam site to see how the dam is operating, what are the surrounding challenges, and it has been really a good case to understand how the dam is helping in supplying water in the Nairobi city, and we have been happy to see how the Kenya government has managed to restore water, to conserve water, the environment, the entire catchment. It was really a very good model for our participants. The participants have shown commitment that they will apply the knowledge and the skills gained in their respective countries, in their respective departments, because some of them, they are operating in the water and environmental ministries, meaning that applying their knowledge they gained here, it will help us really to make sure that our output are achieved in terms of upgrading the knowledge and the skills of the professionals in the Nile Basin countries.
One of the important things we need to remember for IWRM is it's a framework, it's an integration of all the components which are related, or all the different sectors which are related to water resources. The most important thing with IWRM was knowing your resources, its capacity, and how to generate it or how to share it between the different sectors and building a harmonization with it.
When we go back, maybe we go to our respective areas of work, and that's where we concentrate our activities of management. So I thought also it's good that let it be everywhere that you be going, be talking about climate change. Anything that you see, let that other person understand that there's something that's happening about climate here. If it's water which is being wasted, to just tell him for the sake of it, know that this water that you're using now, you can preserve it for tomorrow, so that that thing will go to our people, and everybody, wherever he is, he'll have that responsibility to manage, to have to take care of his environment. Can it be land which holds the water, or the water which he uses for his life?
And the other thing is, I understood that from this experience sharing that how much the negotiation is very important. When I talk about the negotiation in the watershed management, it's not only about the upstream countries, it's not only about the downstream countries, but it is for all of them.
Yeah, I realized that when thinking about IWRM, we should consider an economic aspect, value for money. When you look at the infrastructure of the whole area, and then the users and the producers, you see, there's a big aspect on finances. How do we give value to the money that we have? So as planners or environmentalists, when you think about IWRM, we should look at the economic benefit as well. give it a value, so that we have a reason, we have an affiliation to it, with a benefit that goes widespread. The communities from far distance and near distance, and then the realization and the sensitization on how they share these benefits and what it brings to the future. So that when you're protecting, you're looking at that economic margin, so that money comes also to your mind when you're planning.
Continuous awareness raising is important for all the catchments, like all the people in the catchment. That helps you to keep the management of the catchment aggressive. And then also bringing them together, I think also helps them to appreciate one another's needs. We're always mindful of the downstream users and we don't just
The water source. The water source protection guideline, that's very important. In our respective countries, some people don't care about whether you are putting an infrastructure in place, but you don't go around and see maybe the water sources around, whether your project or investment can have impact from that. And that's why in Uganda they came up with that good practices. But whenever something is being implemented on the ground, from different perspectives, from the health, infrastructure, they should take care of the water sources around and maybe provide for 3% of the investment to protect the water sources around. This is very important. And again, it gives us the other, what people need to say that you cannot be milking a cow without feeding it. This is very important. And I think it has been applied in that particular catchment there. Because these small springs that are flowing into that reservoir, at some point of time they can be dry. But because now they have put in place environmental protection to make sure that the flow is sustainably ensured, I think they are in one way or another applying that case of Uganda as part of the protection of the entire catchment to generate sustainably the water flowing into the reservoir.
Kiserian is a small town coming up just next to Nairobi to the south. And it happens to be in a district we call Kajiado. It's a semi-arid district. Now we don't call them districts, we call them counties. So it is in Kajiado County and happen to hold the biggest water reservoir in the county. It's a man-made reservoir which gets water from seasonal rivers flowing down from the Gong Hills and the plains of Kajiado. Due to past experiences of water shortages in the town and the neighboring suburbs, National Water decided to come up with that dam. It's a big dam, 4 kilometers long, and this is to encounter the water shortages in the areas. You see, generally by physical makeup of the area, there's a lot of water flowing during the rainy season. And within a short time, the place is very dry and there's no water. So the only way to mitigate that was to build that dam. So the dam was built, and unfortunately, the dam is on the lower side of a town which has no sewerage system. So you can imagine the liquid waste and the solid waste which is running into the dam. So it's a very big challenge. And thereby we formed the Kiserian Water Resource Users Association. A few members registered, and we are increasing our membership, even to get institutions around us, so that we can try to sensitize people on the conservation and also protection of that water catchment, which is really vulnerable, on issues of climate change, we know it has been completely different from what we know. There are times we expect this amount of rain, and all of a sudden the rain changes. Like now, we didn't have rain in Kiserian. And this morning, this is May, and this morning as I was coming, I'm sorry I was late because there was a lot of rain all night long. This rain is not expected because we expect rain in Kiserian around March, end of March and April. Now it has come in May. I don't know whether it is the El Nino, which we are Googling all the time. We find there will be the biggest El Nino ever to hit the planet Earth. I don't know. But it has started. So due to some of these problems, farmers are not able to know where to plant their crops. And they are caught unaware. Like now, in my farm itself, there are some maize which are already drying. And the rain has started. And we don't know whether to plant or not to plant. And in fact, we didn't harvest much because there was no water, there was no rain. And this, I'm talking about the general Kiserian. So you can see we are not able to know when to plant because of these changes. And this is another problem because soon we shall have no food. If this rain comes and it comes around June, it will be very, very cold for even crops to grow. The temperatures sometimes get very, very low. And even if we plant, we might not be able to get enough harvest. So this is another big problem which we expect. And on the other side of the pastoralists, they don't have grass now. This has always affected the market. You know, Kiserian is dictated by those animals. The whole of this Nairobi, 70% of meat comes from areas of Kiserian and Kajiado. And if at all we will not get enough rains again, the things will be very, very bad.
Climate change is a serious issue and it can lead to serious poverty, but also that there is hope if we adapt. And so, since we're just starting out in integrated water resources management, catchment-based water resources management, it is a very good opportunity to do that in mind with climate change and encourage the communities to adapt.
Congratulations. There is a CD.
Thank you.
I'm singing also someone, Irene Wangari Mukure. Congratulations. Okay. The following is Mr. Edo Beresa Bedaso. Congratulations. The following is Mr. Benjamin Maina Mbugua. Congratulations. Well, the next step, as I have concluded in my remarks, is to request the candidates to go back to their home countries and share The training material that we gave them, we have covered a number of topics related to water climate change, related issues, what are the strategy for adaptation in various areas, and I'm sure they will share with them with their colleagues they left behind, and also they will share with any who is interested to have knowledge in the water resources and climate change. So definitely, hopefully, this is what we are agreed upon, and for us, we shall always monitor, because we are going to create a network whereby we shall collaborate with them in terms of information sharing, in terms of homegrown initiative sharing, and we shall be monitoring that.